friends. So I was about to make this video for just the girls in my October challenge group, and I decided I haven't been live on here or like really shared any videos in a while, so I decided to hop on here to record it in case anyone else feels like they've been struggling with meal planning or just like needs to kind of like reset how to get started and have it not feel overwhelming and all that. So in our groups, we definitely like dive deeper into all of these things, but I wanted to this is kind of like Saturday. It's the beginning of our group, so it's just preseason. So it's just kind of like an overview. So I figured I'd just share it in here with you. So the first thing that I do when I'm sitting down to meal plan is I like think about our week. I think about if we have any sort of like funny events that we're going to have that I know we're going to be like, you know, really need to eat dinner really early or really late or anything like funny going on if we're going to be out of town or anything like that. This week we have a pretty normal week. So I usually try to sit down on Saturdays and think about the week ahead, because then it makes making my grocery list and going to the grocery store, whether I go on Sunday or whether I go like early in the week, it just makes it less stressful if I already know what I need, so that then like as I'm in our kitchen for the next day and a half, I can really like notice what else needs to be added to the list, and you don't end up in that space of like having to run back to the store every 3 days for something, because you know that's how the grocery bill ends up being like way high for the month, right? Is when we have to take a bunch of trips. So this system helps me just kind of like be relatively consistent and feel in control of our meal planning. So something that's really helpful for us is we have sort of like themed nights. It's not strict, but to have an outline in my head of how our week is going to play out, it gives me more flexibility to find new fun recipes if I already know, for example, like Tuesday is taco night. So what kind of tacos do we want to have? Do we want to have chicken tacos? Do we want to have beef tacos? Do we want to have just veggie tacos? Do we want to have just taco salad? Or do I want to find some good tortillas? Like, do I want to make guacamole? Like, you can, when you know the general layout, it gives you more flexibility within that to really be creative and have fun without it feeling super stressful and like you have to find a new recipe every single night for every single like week. That's when people really get in trouble, is when they feel like, you know, you're sitting down and you're gonna like be on it this week and like be healthy, and so you feel overwhelmed by having to make all these new healthy recipes, when in reality, if you just let yourself have an outline and allow for a little bit of like rhythm and repetition, it really does make it less stressful. So for us, this week, we are having steak tomorrow night, and just like a bunch of grilled veggies. We're going to have chicken Caesar salad on Mondays, because we do that almost every single week in some way or another. Like, I don't make the exact same chicken every week. Sometimes we do Greek salad instead of like a Caesar dressing, but for the most part, like, it's a good fresh start, some kind of Italian-ish Mediterranean chicken and salad. Tuesday we'll do tacos. I need to find a recipe for that, but probably chicken. Wednesday we will do pork. Pork tenderloin is like super easy to just like keep in the freezer. Honestly, you can go to Costco and buy a pack of like 4 and marinate them all and stick them in your freezer, and then they're ready to pull out. So whether you need 1 for your family or 2, we always plan our dinners to have enough leftovers for lunch the next day for all of us. So you do have to cook a little bit more, but you're already cooking. So it's not more work to prep your lunches for the next day, because it's already like you were already turning the oven on. So you might as well just put 2 more chicken breasts on it, right? So we'll do that. Thursdays, we like to do burgers, some kind of burger. Sometimes it's meat, sometimes it's not. Sometimes we use, like we did turkey burgers last week. And what I'll say about that is when you do something like burgers, you can buy like just way extra, and you can make the patties, and whether you want to freeze them raw or we cook all of them and then stick them in the freezer so that they're like a super quick grab and go, basically like as easy as chicken nuggets would be, but healthier because it's a homemade turkey burger, right? So we do a lot of that. Like for Grace, we'll have like little mini burgers that I keep in the freezer. And also for us, like just, it's nice to know that like next week, if we want to have those same turkey burgers, they're already ready for us. So then it makes meal prep so easy next week because it's already done, right? Friday is pizza night. Stamp on it. My people know, like, I don't mess around. I like, if we miss pizza night on Friday, I like struggle with what day it is for the rest of the week. So we have pizza and salad on Fridays. Sometimes we buy pizza out. Sometimes we get like a freezer one. We got one of the Newman's Own brand ones yesterday that is like super good. And y'all, if you can't eat pizza in your life, I think maybe you're being a little too hard on yourself. So like, let yourself have some pizza. Or not, whatever your indulgence is. If like you love Thai food, then like on Fridays, maybe it's Thai night. So, and then Saturday, I'm going to find a new recipe, probably something that we like roast some good fall veggies. Yeah, I'm not sure yet on that one. I got to find a recipe. But so that's kind of our rhythm most weeks. And so by doing that, by having sort of themed nights, we end up having some like favorite recipes for each of those things that we can rotate through. So it's not that we do the same thing every single week for those meals, but you know, if I know I'm gonna have tacos, again, like it makes it easy to know when I'm at the store, like I don't feel as stressed. And when I'm planning out or I'm looking for a new recipe, like maybe taco night is the night we make a new recipe, and maybe all the other nights of the week are recipes that I've already done before, I'm confident in, like I'm not stressed about how long they're going to take or anything like that. So that structure is super helpful. Also super helpful in having a grocery list that's like easy to build and consistent every week. The next thing that I do is, so to be honest, I'm not super good at like having like following recipes. It's a little stressful to me to like be worried about if I have every single ingredient, that, you know, if it's gonna all fly out the window, if I'm missing one thing. So what I tend to do is I buy like veggies that I can cook a lot of different ways. So if you like are in the grocery store, like we always buy a ton of spinach because spinach we use in our shakes, and we can also like use it for salads. Spring mix is super easy. Like if you think you hate making salads, like just go buy spring mix because you just literally like plop and it's like you're most of the way to a giant delicious salad. So we get those things, and then I always buy like mushrooms, zucchini, squash, tomatoes, peppers. All of those things have so much versatility when it comes to like roasting or grilling or sauteing. You can make them be Mexican or Italian or Greek, or you can put them in Thai food. Like there's so many ways to cook so many different vegetables. Like snap peas are another really good one. There's lots of stuff that you can just like also keep in your fridge for a long time. Like we always have like giant carrots because we can roast them or cut them or shave them or whatever. So don't pigeonhole yourself by buying only things that are only used for one recipe. Because when you let yourself have like a wider variety of vegetables that can be cooked a lot of different ways, you just open up the opportunities to on Tuesday night be like, let's see what kind of recipes they have for chicken tacos with zucchini. Because that's something that I maybe don't know about, but I'm curious and this is what I have. And like, you'd be amazed. So, I like to do that so that we have like a little bit more of an open-ended, you know, we can just like kind of play around with it. And then the most important thing, you guys, is ask yourself what you'd like to eat. Okay. Like so many people, they get into their meal planning. They're like, what's healthy? What's good? What am I allowed to have? And like, that's just not the right approach. Like that is not how you long-term have a healthy lifestyle that you feel good about. So if you want to feel good about your meals, ask yourself what you actually like to eat, which is why we have things like tacos and burgers and pizza on our meal plan almost every single week because we like to eat those things. I love guacamole. I would like every excuse under the sun to make guacamole and have tacos. And you can have tortillas when you load them up with all the vegetables, right? So like it's all a matter of figuring out like how to do things well and healthfully in a way that tastes good, fuels your body well, and like feels good. So like we do burgers, we don't usually do buns because like, I don't really like the bun. I would rather pile like caramelized onions and mushrooms and cheese and like all that stuff that I can actually taste onto my burger than have a bun that like is just gonna overtake the rest of that stuff. So that is just kind of an overview of how I sit down, do my meal planning for the week. I hope it's helpful and maybe can like spark some interest in how you are going out and planning your meals for the week. We